Welcome in, everyone. I hope you are all doing well wherever you are watching from. We have a big development in the world of the cartels and President Trump and the government and the U.S. military taking actions towards hammering these scumbags responsible for poisoning our communities, poisoning our country. It is one of the biggest developments we have had in a very, very, very long time. And it's also a direct indication that something big is coming. That something big is almost certainly coming, which we've covered here on this channel before. Before we get into the latest development, which I think you guys are really going to enjoy hearing about, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out. Make sure to comment with your thoughts below, how you want to see President Donald Trump handle the drug cartels. And now let's get into it. Prior to Donald Trump even taking office for his second term as President of the United States, he made it crystal clear that one of his goals, his top priority, was to stop the drug cartels who are poisoning our people, pushing their pain, carnage, chaos across the border into the U.S. Enough was enough. They were going to put an end to it, and that involved a lot of different actions we've already seen taken. That includes declaring them foreign terrorist organizations, spy flights into Mexico, Reaper drones into Mexico. We've seen a ton of heavy equipment. Men moved to the border. They have sealed the border after 4 years of wide open borders under President Joe Biden. That issue has already thankfully been solved, but we haven't seen anything directly against the cartels just yet. We do know the cartels are hiding. They're on the run. They're already trying to get away amid fears of a big strike, a strike that has not happened. And there's been questions about what authority would this strike be able to happen. You have Title 10 authority, which is your traditional military authority, where you see military action conducted. Then you have Title 50 authority, which is the authority that allows the president to really do a lot of broader things kind of within the intelligence world, but you will see that authority apply to elite U.S. military units, specifically Tier 1 units like Delta Force, Task Force Orange, SEAL Team 6. There's been some speculation in the past that the Osama bin Laden raid was actually done under Title 50 authority, although that has never been proven, or it's just speculation. But that would be an example where the president can take military assets that would generally operate under Title 10 and allow them to go conduct operations, take people out under a different legal authority. If you want to kill people and you're the U.S. government, U.S. military, U.S. intel agencies, you have to still do it legally. There is the law. Question is, how do you apply the law, the interpretations, and the legal authorities you already have to figure out how you want to take these people out? Well, the good news is the CIA, according to a bombshell report, is in the process of doing just that as we speak to figure out how to kill some cartel members. Let's get into what the report says. So this report comes directly from CNN.com. It is a big report. It is the biggest one we've had in terms of the drug cartels and action. I'm going to read it to you now. The CIA is reviewing its authorities to use lethal force against drug cartels in Mexico and beyond as the Trump administration moves to make taking on the cartels a major priority for the intelligence agency, according to a U.S. official and 3 people briefed on the matter. The review does not indicate President Trump has ordered the CIA to take direct action against the cartels, but it is designed to help the agency understand what kinds of activities it could legally undertake and what the potential risks would be across the suite of options, the sources said, underscoring how seriously the Trump administration is considering the possibility. Speaking of the Trump administration, I'm actually filming this shortly after I returned from the White House. Filming this April 7th. I was at the White House for something today, not taking out drug cartels, something a lot less serious than that, but we'll talk about that maybe some other time. I did see President Trump. That was obviously, whenever you can see the president, no matter who it is, it's always interesting. Anyways, back to this. It also highlights some of U.S. officials' concerns that using traditional counterterrorism tools against cartels, as the Trump administration has said it intends to do, carries a much higher risk of collateral damage to American citizens than similar operations conducted in the Middle East far from U.S. soil. Among the issues agency lawyers, and this is a big one we're going to get into here shortly, are examining is the CIA's and its officers' liability if any American is accidentally killed in any operation, according to one of the people briefed. Agency officials are cautious about using assets traditionally going after what were seen as military targets now being deployed against cartel targets, the U.S. official said. The Trump administration earlier this year designated a number of cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, FTOs, A maneuver some current and former U.S. officials believe is designed to build a predicate for lethal action, and the CIA is already flying surveillance drones that are capable of being armed over Mexico. The CIA declined to comment for the story. Finally, CNN was not able to determine whether the effort was ordered by the White House or CIA Director John Ratcliffe, or whether it was undertaken as a prudent planning measure by agency staff in response to clear signals from the Trump administration that it wants national security agencies to ramp up pressure on cartels. So as you can see here, what the CIA is doing is trying to figure out a way to find legal authority to take out the drug cartels. That is what they're trying to do. That's what they're finding the authority to do. And let's talk briefly about the part where it talks about killing an American citizen by accident. What they don't want, what the CIA and the US government and the military doesn't want to happen is that an American is accidentally killed and then it turns into a legal crisis for everyone involved. They want to know that there's perfect rules of engagement. There's an escalation ladder they're following. They're following the laws perfectly. They have the legal authority to do it. The CIA under Title 50 absolutely does have the legal authority to kill people. They just want to make sure it's being done the right way. At the same time, we also know that there are Americans who work for the drug cartels. This is just a fact. And we also have precedent for what that looks like if they're going to handle it. Anwar al-Awlaki, who belonged to a terrorist organization that YouTube is not a fan of you saying the word of, he was killed by Barack Obama in a drone strike that was deemed 100% legal. If you are an enemy combatant or you are engaged in actions against the U.S. on the battlefield, which if you're with the cartels in Mexico and that turns into the battlefield and you're fighting the U.S., you are by definition enemy combatant. Or if you're overseas with a terrorist organization, you also obviously would be an enemy combatant. The U.S. government and the U.S. military have full legal jurisdiction, and they are well within their legal rights to target you however they see fit. That's totally different than an innocent bystander who gets killed by accident. Now, does that mean that it's criminal if that happens? Well, you have people who die in war all the time who weren't the intended target. There's civilians who die in war. I hate to be the guy who breaks that news to everyone, but that's just the truth. It's tragic whenever it happens, but it happens. But those are two very different things. So where will we go from here now that the CIA is looking at this? What does it mean? What's likely? Let's go ahead and dive into that right now. What does the CIA's attempts to look at the legality of their options in front of them mean for what comes next? It means one very simple thing. Anyone who thought that this wasn't going to happen, anyone who thought there might be a way that the cartels were able to sneak off into the night and President Trump wasn't going to deal with them, is in for a very rude awakening. President Trump made it clear he had every intention of taking out the cartels. He made it clear that their violence, carnage, and all the horrific things they've done would not be tolerated. He made it clear that we will eliminate these people and we will stop them from coming over and pushing their evil, sadistic ways into the U.S. So by the CIA going to the press and saying, hey, we're looking at ways to kill these people. We are looking at ways to kill these people under our legal authority, which would be Title 50. It is a sign that they are not playing games. That whether it's dropping bombs from drones or sending in Tier 1 operators or the Special Activities Division, they are setting the stage to have the legal authority and have it signed off on so that when they want to smoke these dudes, they've got every box checked possible. That's what they're doing. That's what they should be doing. I applaud them for doing that. I've said at some point this year, I do believe we're going to kill a cartel leader. This is one more step up. And I know some people have said, well, it's not going to happen. It's all for show. You don't review the rules for killing someone unless you intend to kill them. This is not a time-wasting exercise. This is a kick-ass exercise. And I'll also say, I'm not really interested in mercy and for forgiveness. These people kill 100,000 American citizens a year. You might have a family member, you might have a friend, you might have a friend of a friend who these scumbags and their poison have impacted, whether hopefully not with death, but maybe serious health issues. I'm not interested in mercy and forgiveness. That's between them and God. It's the job of the United States military, the United States government, and the CIA to end the threat. That's our job. What happens when they get to the afterlife is between them and God. But it looks like we're not playing games. The Trump administration is not playing games. I give them all the credit in the world. Something's going to happen. That much I can guarantee you. What do you think is going to happen? I want you to let me know in the comments below what you think this development with the CIA getting legal authority to kill these people means. Let me know what you think. Comment with all your thoughts. Make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next time.